So the Biden administration was really trying to use this visit to emphasize that America's alliances are strong in the aftermath of the Trump administration, and especially in the face of perceived Chinese aggression. And it's telling that Japan was the first state to receive an in-person visit at the White House. Usually, the first national leaders to visit the White House in a new administration are Europeans or the Prime Minister of Canada, but this really sends a statement on the part of the White House that they regard Japan as America's most important partner for stabilizing Asia. For the Japanese, the U.S. Japan relationship is the most important international relationship for Japan. Japanese prime ministers often rise or fall based on how they handle the relationship. For Prime Minister Suga in particular, he's going into a lower house election in the autumn, and his approval ratings are quite low due to the slow rollout of the coronavirus vaccine in Japan, and lingering questions about how the Tokyo Olympics will play out. And so his team was hoping that this visit would sort of boost his political fortunes domestically. It was a success insofar as it reaffirmed the basic bedrock features of the U.S.-Japan relationship. So the joint statement following Prime Minister Suga's visit to the White House reaffirmed America's Article 5 commitment to the defense of Japan. That's pretty boilerplate, including America's Article 5 commitment to the defense of the Senkaku Islands, which are disputed with China. Again, pretty boilerplate since the early Obama administration. It reaffirmed the extended nuclear deterrence relationship and also the long, arduous process of relocating a Marine Corps base in Okinawa. In addition to those boilerplate features, it included a long list of grievances against China, various ways in which Japan and the United States think that China is upsetting the regional order in the South China Sea and the East China Sea. It also, significantly, it included mention of Xinjiang and Hong Kong, which is unusual for Japan. China is Japan's largest trading partner, and it is often shy of calling out specific Chinese actions, especially on Chinese territory. It often likes the United States to play bad cop on China, where Japan might play good cop. And this joint communique indicates that the United States was successful in sort of prodding Japan to use more forceful language. One of the most significant aspects of this joint statement was the retention of the phrase free and open Indo-Pacific, which was common in U.S.-Japan alliance discussions during the Trump years. And the Biden administration has staked its sort of international reputation on being not Trump, and doing the opposite of what Trump did. So it was notable that they kept this approach from the Trump era of the U.S.-Japan alliance. And, it's a recognition that a lot of people in Japan, especially in the security circles in the Japanese government, appreciated the Trump administration's focus on laser-like focus on China. Yeah, there was a lot of media speculation leading up to the meeting that the two sides would issue a joint statement about Taiwan. And that would be the first such statement at the leadership level of the United States and Japan since 1969, when Richard Nixon and Sato Eisaku made a joint statement about Taiwan. Like the United States, Japan has a one China policy, and it maintains informal ties with Taiwan, but it has historically been more reluctant to push the envelope of that framework, of that one China framework, than the United States has been. It's more scrupulous historically in terms of respecting Chinese sensibilities. The passage that was ultimately included in the joint statement underscores the importance of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait and encourages the peaceful resolution of the cross-strait issue. So again, that's almost exactly the same as the language that was included in the 2+2 meeting in March, with the exception of the bit about peaceful resolution. And some analysts have interpreted that to be, given that it added the part about peaceful resolution, they've interpreted this to be a somewhat stronger statement than was made in March, but I think that's really hair splitting. So really, this statement, it's impressive not for its novelty, but for the fact that it was made at all. And I think it's further evidence of the evolution of the U.S. Japan alliance in the direction of regarding Taiwan as a common threat and a common operational problem. And this has been a slow evolution since the 1996 Taiwan Straits crisis, where China shot missiles into the ocean near Taiwan. And since that crisis, the alliance has sent out signals that it regards Taiwan or threats to Taiwan as impinging directly on the U.S.-Japan alliance. And this statement is really a continuation of that trend, which I think bears watching in the future, because it alters the original purpose of the alliance, which is to defend the territorial integrity of Japan. It's an indication that the alliance is maybe engaged in a little bit of mission creep. Taiwan is one of China's most sensitive security interests. It's a core legitimacy issue for the Communist Party. So they gave a stern response. Unsurprisingly, the foreign ministry issued a press release the following day after the meeting saying that the U.S. and Japan should butt out of its internal affairs. They mocked the free and open aspect of the free and open Indo-Pacific phraseology that the U.S. and Japan used, and they said that the U.S. and Japan are actually ganging up on it to form, Cold War-like blocs. And this is a common Chinese response to the U.S.-Japan alliance in particular. They often refer to American alliances as relics of the Cold War. The language that China uses is not surprising, but it is, I think, a useful reminder that whereas maybe in the early 70s, when the US normalized with China and when Japan normalized with China, China viewed the US-Japan alliance back then as a stabilizing feature, or at least they claimed to. They no longer do. Maybe it was always for show that they claimed to view it as a stabilizing feature, but it is certainly the case now that they view the U.S.-Japan alliance and especially the way in which the U.S.-Japan alliance is being incorporated into the Quad group of the United States, Australia, Japan, and India. They view that as an attempt to encircle China. And the United States is not good at taking the concerns of its adversaries seriously, but this is a pretty common refrain from China, and I think in the long run, the United States will have to take more seriously in order to secure stability in Asia.